Good day, students. Welcome to our lesson this week in General Mathematics. Today, we're going to discuss compound interest. Compound interest or compounding interest is the interest on a loan or deposit calculated based on both the initial principal and the accumulated interest from previous periods. The rate at which compound interest accrues depends on the frequency of compounding, such that the higher the number of compounding periods, the greater the compound interest. The formula to solve for the compound interest is A equals P times 1 plus R over M raised to MT. And to solve for the amount of interest, A is equal to A minus P, where A is the final amount or the future value, P is the principal amount, M is the compounding period, R is the rate of interest in decimal, and T is the time in terms of years. So to solve for the compound interest, the first thing that we have to do is to solve for the final amount or future value first. And then after that, let us solve for the interest using the formula I equals A minus P. So what are the compounding periods? Or what are the different compounding periods? So yearly or annually, so M is equal to 1. For semi-annually, M is equal to 2. For every 4 months, M is equal to 3. If the compounding period is quarterly, M is equal to 4. If the compounding period is every 2 months, then M is equal to 6. If the compounding period is monthly, M is equal to 12. If the compounding period is daily, M is equal to 365. Sometimes, M is equal to 360. Example 1. Anna put her savings worth 100,000 pesos in an account providing a compound interest rate of 3.5% semi-annually. Find the value of her savings and the amount of interest in 5 years. So here, let us analyze the given. So the savings worth 100,000 pesos put in an account, meaning to say that 100,000 is the principal amount, providing a compound interest rate of 3.5%. So 3.5% is the interest rate. Semi-annually, so that's the compounding period. Semi-annually, so M is equal to 2. Then value of her savings and amount of interest. So we will be solving for the future value and the amount of interest in 5 years. So that's the time. For the solution, first list the given. M is equal to 2 because semi-annually. R is equal to 3.5%. In decimal, that's 0.035. The time is 5 years. The principal amount is 100,000 pesos. And we will be solving for the final amount and for the amount of interest. So let us make use of this formula first. A equals P times 1 plus R over M raised to MT. Okay? So A is equal to 100,000 times 1 plus 0.035 divided by 2 raised to 2 to the fifth power. I'm sorry, raised to 2 times 5. So here, 2 times 5, that's 10. 0.035 divided by 2, that's 0.0175. Okay. So plus 1, that's 1.0175 raised to 10 times 100,000. So this answer is A equals 118,944.45 pesos. So that is the future amount of the savings. For the continuation, let us solve for the interest. Let us use the formula I equals A minus P. So we have obtained the A, or the final amount, which is 118,944.45, so minus 100,000, that's 18,944.45. So the amount of interest is 18,944.45 pesos. After 5 years, the value of Anna's savings is 118,944.45, and the amount of interest earned is 18,944.45 pesos. So if you have an amount of money, try to invest it in a savings account. It it will earn some interest. Okay. So in the future, if you have your own jobs, make sure that you will be able to save a part of your salary, have a savings account, so that at young age you will be able to have savings. Example 2. 5 years ago, you deposited 5,000 pesos in a bank that pays 2% annual interest compounded quarterly. If no withdrawal is made from the account, how much is in the account today? So let us analyze the given in this problem. 5 years ago, so that's the time, deposited 5,000 pesos in a bank. So that's the principal amount, pays 2%, that's the rate, annual interest compounded quarterly. So the compounding period is quarterly, so M is equal to 4. No withdrawal is made from the account. How much is in the account today? So since it was 5 years ago, so here we will be solving for the accumulated value, the account, or the how much the money today. So list our given. M is equal to 4 because quarterly. R is equal to 2% or 0.02. T is 5 years. The principal amount is 5,000. And let us solve for A. So A equals P times 1 plus R over M raised to MT. So A equals 5,000 times 1 plus 0.02 over 4 raised to 4 times 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. 0.02 divided by 4 is 0.005 plus 1. That's 1.005 raised to 10. After that, multiply to 5,000 pesos. You're going to have 5,524.48 pesos. So that's the accumulated amount. Example 3. At what interest rate compounded annually must 10,000 pesos be invested in order to earn worth 2,000 pesos in 5 years? Okay, so at what interest rate? So obviously we will be solving for the rate here, the compounded annually. So M is equal to 1 because annually. 10,000 be invested, so principal amount is 10,000 to earn worth 2,000, so that's the interest. Okay, I is equal to 2,000 in 5 years. T is equal to 5. So our given, our 1, M is equal to 1 because annually. T is equal to 5 years. The interest earned is 2,000 pesos. The principal amount is 10,000 pesos. So remember, A is equal to P plus I, principal plus interest. So the accumulated amount is the sum of the interest and the principal. Here, that's 12,000 pesos. So let us solve for R. So still we will be using the same formula, substitute the values of M, T, R, and A. Okay, so now we have 12,000 equals 10,000 times 1 plus R over 1 raised to 1 times 5. So divide both sides of the equation by 10,000. So now we're going to have 1.2 equals 1 plus r raised to 5. 1 times 5 is 5, and then r over 1 is r. Okay? So by symmetric property, let us rewrite this equation. 1 plus r to the pip power equals 1.2. Get the pip root of both sides of the equation. So now we have 1 plus r equals pip root of 1.2. R equals pip root of 1.2 minus 1. So the pip root of 1.2 is approximately 1.037137289 minus 1. That's approximately 0.037137289. Or for the first 4 decimal place, that's 0.0371. Express it into percent, multiply it by 100. So now you have 3.71%. So that's the interest rate. Okay. So you just need to, to manipulate the formula, derive the formula in order for you to solve for the correct answer. So in compound interest, we also have this so-called continuous compounding. This is a type of compound interest, but the interest rate or the compounding interest is continuous. So the formula for the final amount is A equals P times E raised to RT, where E is the natural number E, which is approximately equal to 2.718. Okay, so P is equal to A over E raised to RT if you will be solving for the principal amount. So to solve for the interest, so it's the same, I equals A minus P. For example, what is the future value of 2,000 pesos compounded continuously at 3% interest after 4 years and 6 months? So future value, so we'll be solving for A. 2,000 pesos is obviously the peak, compounded continuously. So when you say compounded continuously, there's no M. You will not be using the first formula that was presented earlier. You will be using the second formula, A equals P E raised to RT. So at 3% interest after 4 years and 6 months. So solution, the principal amount is 2,000, rate is 3% or 0.03, time is 4.5 years. Why 4.5? Because 4 years and 6 months. 6 months is half a year or 0.5, okay? Or to get that, 6 divided by 12, that's 1 half or 0.5, okay? So 4 years and 6 months is 4.5 years. So A equals the question mark because we will be solving for A. So let us use this formula. A equals PE raised to RT. So A equals 2,000 pesos times E raised to 0.03 times 4.5. So in your calculator, there's E there. So A equals so continuously that will be 2,289.07 pesos. And that's the future value or the accumulated amount. Example 2, how long will it take for an amount to double when it is compounded continuously at an annual interest rate of 3%? How long will it take for the account to triple? So how long we will be solving for the time or T? Okay, so to keep compounded continuously 3% annual interest rate. So double and triple. So meaning to say the final amount must be twice the principal or thrice the principal. So for the given A equals 2P and A equals 3P for the two situations, the first situation twice the principal, for the second situation twice the principal amount. R is equal to 3% or 0.03. Time is equal, we'll be solving for time. So solve for t using this formula, A equals P e raised to RT. So remember the concept of logarithms. So let us express both sides of the equation as a logarithm. So log A equals log P e raised to RT. So expanding the logarithms, so remember this in our previous lessons. So log A equals log P plus log E raised to RT. Then log E raised to RT can be expressed as RT log E. That's why we have here log A equals log P plus RT log E. Then RT log E equals log A minus log P. So divide both sides of the equation by R log E. So you're going to have T equals log A minus log P all over R log E. And that is our formula to solve for time in continuous compounding. Okay? So let us make use of the formula to answer our problem. So T equals log 2P minus log P. So this is the first situation for the principal to be, or for the final amount to be twice the principal. So log 2P minus log P can be expressed as log 2P over P. And 2P over P, that's 2. Okay. So then the denominator is 0.03 log E. Now we have T equals log 2 over 0.03 times log E. And that's 23.9 years. So just use your calculator to answer that. That is for the amount to double. For the amount to triple, so just make a 3p. So t equals log 3p minus log p all over 0.03 log e. Log 3p minus log p can be expressed as log 3p over p. 3p over p is 3. Now we have t equals log 3 divided by 0.03 log e, and that's 36.62 years. That is for the amount to triple. Example 3. At what interest rate will 10,000 pesos earn an interest of 500 pesos compounded continuously for 2 years? So again, this is continuous compounding. We will be solving for the interest rate. So P is 10,000 pesos. The interest is 500 pesos. Remember that A is equal to P plus I, so our A is 10,500 pesos. Times 2 years, let us solve for R. So this is our formula to solve for R. So again, logarithm. So it's the same procedure that we had before. We will be arriving at this. In this case, since we will be solving for R, so divide both sides of the equation by T log E. So R is equal to log A minus log P all over T log E. So this is our formula to solve for R in continuous compounding. So R equals log A minus log P all over T log E. Then substitute the values. Now we have R equals log 10,500 minus log 10,000 over 2 log E. So log 10,500 minus log 10,000 can be expressed as log 10,500 divided by log 10,000, and that's log 1.05. Now we have R equals log 1.05 divided by 2 log E, and that's approximately equal to 0.024395. Express it into decimal. So R is approximately 2.44%. And that's the rate of interest that we are looking for. Okay, so answer the following problems. Number one, find the maturity value if 10,000 pesos is deposited in a bank at 2% compounded quarterly for 5 years. Number two, Jerome borrows 50,000 through GSIS console loan and agreed to pay the principal at interest at 12% compounded monthly. How much must he pay after 6 years? 3. How much should be invested to accumulate 25,000 pesos in 2 years and 6 months if the interest rate is 10% compounded quarterly? For number 4, what is the future value of 10,000 pesos compounded continuously at 6% interest after 5 years and 9 months? So 5 years and 9 months, express it into years. 9 divided by 12 is 3 over 4 or 4.7 or 0.75. So that's 5 years and 9 months is 5.75 years. Number 5, how much must be invested to accumulate an amount of 150,000 pesos compounded continuously at 5% interest after 10 years and 3 months? So the same, you express this into years. Number 6, how much must be invested to accumulate an amount of 300,000 pesos compounded continuously at 4.5% interest after 63 months? So that's 63 months, express it into years or number of years. Number 7, 3 years from now, Mr. De La Cruz wants to start a business. In order to do that, he estimated that he needs a capital of 100,000 pesos. He can deposit an amount today in one of the following accounts. Account W offers 1.5% annual compound interest rate. Account X offers 1.4% annual interest rate compounded quarterly. Account Y offers 1.1 annual interest rate compounded monthly, and account Z offers 1% annual interest rate compounded continuously. So solve for those and you'll be able to answer the last question. Which of the following accounts will require the least deposit? So you will be solving for P. Okay. Always remember, class, do mathematics to learn mathematics. Practice, improve, and stay curious. Keep safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. See you next week for our next topic.